it was so empowering. It was like, I am powerful. I have the ability to do something that I never thought I could do. I had spent my entire life waiting for somebody else to give me permission to sing. I'd spent my entire life waiting for some high up person in a chair somewhere to tell me I was good enough to be on their stage. And all of a sudden, I was giving myself permission to show up and do what I loved. And it was freaking amazing. And I was just good enough. I was just good enough all on my own.
Join me, 'cause I'm seeking sunshine, 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 I'm seeking sunshine.
Welcome to Seeking Sunshine, Do What Lights You Up, a podcast for passionate, creative moms who are ready to live their best life and be their full, lit-up selves while being amazing moms, because it's possible to be both. It turns out that you don't have to lose yourself in motherhood, and I'm here to show you how. This is Seeking Sunshine 2.0 because we are no longer focusing on the problems, but on the solutions. It's your turn to shine. Happy New Year and welcome back to the Seeking Sunshine podcast. I'm so thankful that you are here and I'm so excited for this amazing new year that we get to embark upon. It is such an incredible opportunity for us to look ahead and look at the incredible opportunities that we have to look at who we want to become and how we want to change our lives, and to look back, because that's what we're going to do in this episode, is that we're going to look, at least I'm going to look back, and I'm going to talk about my story and how far I've come as I was, you'll hear it in the episode, but I was looking back at our 100th episode and how incredible that was, and I had the chance to go through the very first episode that I had ever recorded for this podcast, and it made me think of how much had happened in between. And so this episode's all about what's happened over the last 2 years. And so I guess I'm challenging you to start thinking about how far you've come and how much further you get to go. Not how much further you have these goals and you want to, you have all these ambitions, but like, do it with excitement. Do it with anticipation. Don't do it with drudgery and like you're not sure. I don't know. Do it with anticipation. Do it with excitement. Be excited for the future. You've come so far. You've done so many incredible things, and look how much further you get to go. Let's be excited for the amazing, amazing things that are coming in 2024, because it's going to knock your socks off. You will not believe how incredible this coming year is going to be for you. It's going to be your best year ever. I'm telling you right now. 2024 is going to be so incredible. And you should just know that right now, right off the bat. So before I dive into this episode, I have to tell you about this amazing, before I get distracted, we just got back from our amazing trip to California for Christmas, and it was I don't know if you guys did anything fun like that for Christmas, and we haven't traveled for Christmas in a lot of years, but it takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of work to like get everything ready, and I was so grateful that I had found this product called Magic Mind, which I've been telling you about over the last few episodes, but it helped me so much as I was organizing everything, getting everything ready to go. Like, I felt like usually when we're getting ready for a trip like this, I feel like I'm losing my mind trying to keep everything together and everything organized. And like, this kind of trip isn't like, it's really hard for my family to travel. But we didn't just have like us trying to get out there. We also had all the presents to deal with and all the Christmassy things. And so I was really grateful that I had Magic Mind helping me keep my head on straight. So Magic Mind is a productivity shot. Like, it's a little teeny drink, and it helps you, like, a lot of people use it to replace coffee, but I'm not really a coffee drinker. I tend to have my dirty little secret, which is Diet Mountain Dew. And so I was looking for something healthier than Diet Mountain Dew to drink. So I was replacing my Diet Mountain Dew with this Magic Mind drink that I found on Amazon, which right now they have a really amazing discount code that I'll tell you about in a second from their website. But I was looking for something healthier to replace my Diet Mountain Dew, which always left me like crashing and jittery, and like it wasn't really very helpful to begin with. Plus, it has lots of really terrible ingredients. But Magic Mind is made with matcha and ashwagandha and like lion's mane mushrooms. It's made with all these really, really amazing adaptogens and neurotropics and really, really amazing ingredients for your body that help your brain function on such a better level. And so basically I was able to get everything squared away, ready to go. And like, we had such an amazing trip, and we didn't forget anything, and we had so much fun, and it was so great. We were able to drive straight out there in one day, and we made record time, and I drove for most of it, guys. And I had actually gotten very, very little sleep on the night before, getting everything ready to go, and I was able to do it. And I was really, really grateful that I had this Magic Mind drink, because I really felt supported, like physically and in my brain, because of this incredible drink. So I totally recommend it. It's really helped me to just feel like I've had the energy that I need to get everything done this season. Anyway, like I was saying, they have a really great promotion going on right now just for January to help you crush your 2024 New Year's resolution. You get an entire month free when you subscribe for 3 months, which you're going to want to do after you try it, which I should tell you, which I think I said it before, but like, I've tried other neurotropic drinks because neurotropics are that amazing, and they don't taste very good usually, but this one tastes so good that it's my favorite. Like, I want that taste in my mouth all the time. It's my favorite. It's so good. So you're going to want to subscribe for all 3 months, and then you're going to get a month free when you go to www.magicmind.com/JanSeekings, and you're going to use my special code Seekings20, and it's going to get you that special discount, and you can find that in the show notes. And I just really recommend it. I mean, it's not going to hurt to give it a shot, right? Which is really funny because it's a little shot. It's a drink. It's kind of a pun. Anyways, today we have a solo episode from me because I had one of my you could call it a New Year's resolution, but I kind of started it back when I relaunched my show. The whole of last year, I had almost entirely guest episodes. And so my plan for this new year and this new season of my show is to have more of me in the show, because like, I started a podcast because I love to talk so much and I love podcasting. I also really love connecting to people, and so here I am talking more because that's my favorite. So I am doing a solo episode the first Wednesday of every month. is just me. For my big long episode is a solo episode where I'm gonna tell you my stories and my things, because guys, I have a really crazy life. It is quite fascinating. And then the other 3 or 4 episodes of the month, it'll depend on how long the month is. Those are all going to be guests, and their guests are so good, guys. They're so amazing. And then I have, of course, the mini episodes, which are just little short, like 10-minute episodes, and those are every Friday. So today's episode, we're going to talk about pursuing your dreams, the power of your authentic voice, and the journey it takes to discover what really lights you up. This is a really good episode, and I'm going to walk you through the really amazing journey that I've been through over the last couple years and all of the growth that I've experienced. So I hope that you find something inspiring in it. Here we go. I cannot believe that it is 2024. Wow. And it's the time of year where we are talking about goals and we're talking about the future. And I'm so excited, guys. There's so much incredible stuff happening this year. I'm so excited for the future, guys. The future is looking bright and amazing. And I hope that you feel the anticipation of the beauty that lies ahead for you. But today, on the Seeking Sunshine podcast, I'm actually going to look back. We're going to look back a little bit. We're going to appreciate how far we've come. And that actually has a lot to do with the 100th episode that just aired on Christmas Day, which was such an amazing, huge accomplishment. But because I was going through all of those episodes and I was pulling out some of those little clips. And you have to understand that for many of those episodes, for many of those little clips, they were already pulled out because I had pulled out teasers for a lot of my episodes. But for like half of them, I had to go back and do that because I had not started pulling teasers until I think it was April of 2023. So for all of the previous episodes before that, I had to go back and listen to the episode and pull out a teaser for it, pull out like the best of clip for the episode, which meant that I had to do something that I had been putting off for a very long time. And that was going back and listening to my very early episodes. I had to go back and listen to episode 1. And I'd been putting this off because I was like a little cringing at, early Karaleigh. There's a big difference between me 100 episodes in and me day 1. I mean, I went back and listened, and on episode 1, I tried to use my big fancy mic, which sounded terrible, honestly. Like, it's so fuzzy and staticky. And then I went back through with my special editing software, which was GarageBand, by the way, and I edited out every single breath, every slight pause, and it sounds really unnatural. It sounds really edited, and it's fine. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I don't do those things anymore. I just let my episodes exist how they do. I let myself show up completely authentically, and now I teach that as, a podcasting coach, because our authentic voice is really our best voice. But I didn't know that back then. But anyway, as I listened through my very first episode, I realized so much has happened in the last 2 years since I recorded that podcast. In episode 1 of Seeking Sunshine, I told our story. And look, I've learned a ton about how to tell a good story and
that's going to be an episode on Podcast Like a Mother soon, like all the things I've learned about how to tell a better story, because I did not know those things when I recorded that episode, and it's kind of boring. And even though my story is really dramatic, like I didn't tell it very well at the time. So this is not really an encouragement to go back and listen to it. But I am today going to share with you what has happened since. What has happened in my life and in my family's life over the last couple of years since starting this podcast. Because I have to tell you, it has been an incredible journey. I have grown so much, and really genuinely amazing things have happened over the last 2 years. So Seeking Sunshine launched November, I want to say it was November 1st. Maybe it was like November 3rd. I think it was November 1st of 2021. And so I did the rebrand, the relaunch on 2023 and added Do What Lights You Up. We kind of shifted a little bit. And so here at the beginning of January, we're just slightly over 2 years in. We're just slightly over 100 episodes in. And I'm excited to tell you about all of the amazing things that have happened over the last couple years, because I don't think I ever could have anticipated what my life would have looked like if I had only gone off of what my life had looked like before. I mean, it was just kind of one hard thing after the other. With, I have 3 kids with special needs, and my husband was disabled for a decade, and we were, living in poverty on welfare, and it's been our journey out of welfare and back, kind of out of our journey out of welfare, into self-sufficiency and building my own business and finding my voice and doing like really incredible things. It's been amazing. So we're going to look at 2022 and 2023, which have been mind-blowing. So I launched Seeking Sunshine back in 2021, fall of 2021. And right about that same time was when I heard about Emma back, and I joined her program called Soul Sound Academy. And that was really a catalyst for me in changing my whole life. So if you've ever considered becoming a songwriter and learning how to write music from your soul, I cannot recommend her enough. Go follow Emma back on social media. Go join Soul Sound Academy. It is so worth it, and it will change your whole life. So I joined her program, and for reals, I just, there's no words to describe how grateful I am for that life-changing journey that she took us on in that program. It was just a small group program, and I started it with very little as far as my abilities to write music. I could write a melody and lyrics, and what I was writing at that time was really cliche. It was the music I wrote wasn't very good. It really needed a lot of development, and I was trying to write some stuff on GarageBand, but I didn't have a lot of the technical skills that I needed to write like good music, to write like technically proficient music. So in Soul Sound Academy, we didn't just learn how to like meditate and like really ponder what we wanted to write about and what was trying to come through us. Like that is such a deep, important part of this work. But we also learned like, hey, what are chords? How do you figure out what the notes of your melody are so that you can base a chord structure around these songs you're writing? So I learned how to like technically be proficient in writing actual music. It was just all the things that I learned were incredibly important. I learned how to produce my own songs, and it was really because of what I learned in that program that I was able to write and produce my own album. And you know that I attach the music from my album usually at the end of this show, and it was because of her that even made that possible. Like, Seeking Sunshine, the song, was the first song that I ever wrote with her and with her help, and it was incredible to see how that song went from concept to becoming better and better and better. And so I actually released that song as a single in May of 2020. No, not May. I'm sorry. It was on my birthday in April of 2022. It was my first single. She taught us not only how to write from the heart and from spirit and like really genuine music, but like all the technical stuff. But then she also taught us how to release music. So I released that song, and it was on Spotify. It still is. You can go listen to it on Spotify, on Apple, on, the interwebs, like all the real legit places. My music's actually out there. So I was able to release that single in April on my birthday. And then I released another single the next month, and another one the next month, and another one the next month. I think I released 5 or 6 singles in a row that year. And like, what a huge deal. What a huge milestone. Like, coming from, I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to be a singer, to releasing all these singles in a row. What? Like, it was like, I can do this, and I wrote them and produced them all myself. I did all of it myself. It was so empowering. It was like, I am powerful. I have the ability to do something that I never thought I could do. I had spent my entire life waiting for somebody else to give me permission to sing. I'd spent my entire life waiting for some high up person in a chair somewhere to tell me I was good enough to be on their stage. And all of a sudden, I was giving myself permission to show up and do what I loved. And it was freaking amazing. And I was just good enough. I was just good enough all on my own. And so I released all of these songs, and I'd have these moments of like Wait, which is such a good song, guys. You need to know that. If you don't know that song of mine already, you should know that song. That one is a life-altering song. I sang it for my husband, like just a cappella. I sang it for him when I was finishing up the writing process of it. And he like just sat there and cried and told me later on that like it saved his life. Like, it was moments like that was all the evidence I needed that like this is what I was made to be doing. I was made to be using my voice. Now, when it came to podcasting, when I first started Seeking Sunshine, I started the podcast in November, and I started interviewing people I knew, and I'm so grateful I started messy. I got the inspiration for the podcast in general from the incredible Kathy Heller, who started with, she has a program called Your Turn to Podcast, and she has a big boot camp for it every fall. So she had a boot camp for it in the fall of 2021, and I couldn't afford her program, and so I listened to the boot camp, and I got really inspired, and I started the podcast, but I didn't join her program. And so I just kind of did it messy the best I could. And I tried to make everything perfect. And I interviewed people, and I over-edited so much. And then it was really hard to keep up with it because I was spending hours and hours of time editing my show. And it was so hard to keep up with. And then when it got to summer of 2022, I couldn't keep up anymore because my kids were out of school and I just couldn't figure out how to interview guests while my kids were out of school. Like, they were too loud. There's no way. And so my show kind of dropped off, and I was feeling really disappointed because I didn't have as many listens, as many downloads as I wanted, and I couldn't figure out how to find more guests, and I was just feeling really bummed out. And I really was passionate about my show, and I really wanted it to keep going, but I wasn't sure, and I was kind of overwhelmed because I was releasing all my singles, and it was, you know, it was one of those dips, right? We all get in those dips where we're like, I don't know how to keep going. So then fall came around again, and I had released all these singles, and I had this moment with my husband where I was playing a song for him. It was this song, actually. It's called I Keep Fighting, which actually I will have that song be the song that's attached to this episode because that's a great one. I adore this song, guys. I love this song. And the chorus goes, I keep fighting, but I just can't win. The blows keep coming again and again and again. And I just felt like that was the place I was in. I keep fighting. I can't win. I'm just stuck here and I can't seem to move past this place. Like, I'm a fighter and I'm not going to give up fighting, but I can't seem to actually win any of these fights that I'm fighting. That was the song I wrote. And I was really excited for the song because it was a great song. And I played it for my husband and he was like, yeah, that's a really good song. But, you can't release it. And now you should know that I was fully planning on releasing the whole album in September. I had done all these months after each month I had released a new single, and I was going to release the full album in September, and I was very excited. And this was going to be the last song in the album. And so this would have been in a month or two before September, whatever that is, so like the end of summer. And my husband is going, this song is too good for you to release it as it is. You need to find somebody who can record live instrumentals for you. And now you should know that I was still using GarageBand, and I don't play any instruments. I was using digital instruments on GarageBand for everything. And at first I was really upset. I was like, come on, this is ridiculous. That's not supportive of you. And it turns out it was a really great thing for him to have said to me, and it was such a growth moment for me. Do I let it just be messy and let it go nowhere? Or do I ask for the help I need and let my songs be as good as they have the potential to be if I ask for help? It's a fine line between showing up messy and letting our work be the best it can be. And it can be hard to know when. Can be really hard because I'd already released all these singles, but I knew that there was a skill set that I did not have that could make my music a lot better. And right around this exact same time, because I had been feeling this whole time like, yeah, sure, that'd be great, but I don't know anyone who can play instruments for me, and I certainly can't afford to go pay somebody, and like, what am I supposed to do here? I just happened across somebody who was just the right fit, who could totally help me. And it was just this amazing, chain of events where I saw a friend of my parents had posted on Facebook, oh, my son just released this song. everyone should support him. And I was like, I'll support a fellow artist. So I went and I bought his song on Bandcamp because I was like, I know what it's like to release a song on Bandcamp and have nobody buy it, because I had just been releasing song after song after song every month for the last 6 months. And so I went on Bandcamp and I bought his song for like $10 and I supported him just as an artist, not for any other reason, just to be supportive. And then he reached out to me and said, thank you so much. I've been listening to your music. I could totally help you with your background. I play like every instrument ever. Let me help you. And it was just miraculous. It was just miraculous. So he charged me like almost nothing. He really should charge me more. And he wrote the most incredibly amazing backgrounds for all of my songs on my album. And it's been amazing. It's been really amazing. So the background music that you hear every time I have a teaser for my show, the background music that's the do, I can't sing it. That rolling piano, he wrote that. Like the Seeking Sunshine you hear at the beginning of the song, he's the one playing the trumpets behind it. And it's not that what I wrote on my own wasn't good. It's that what he wrote was so much better than I could ever have even imagined. It blew my mind. It really did. And then in the fall of 2022, Kathy Heller had another boot camp to launch Your Turn to Podcast again. And once again, I didn't have the money to join her program, but I got re-inspired. I got so inspired to start up my podcast yet again. And so I did. And I started interviewing people again, and I started airing episodes again. And then I did something that was a little crazy. And on New Year's Eve, I found this group called Need a Guest, and I posted on New Year's Eve, and I said, okay, who wants to be a guest on my show? And I got so many people that wanted to be on my show that I had to shut off comments in less than 24 hours. And I got enough people to be on my show, like enough guests for the whole year in less than a day. And that is how my show was very easily able to be covered during the entire summer of 2023 without any worries. And that's how I quickly came to realize that, like, guests don't have to be a problem. They actually can be so amazing and so much fun. And I learned so much from that process. I was able to be on other people's podcasts, and I really was reinvigorated by that whole experience. And podcasting became my favorite. It was so much fun. So I finished up the album with the help of Potbelly McCracken, which is his stage name, and got all the instrumentals done and released my debut album, Seeking Sunshine, in May of 2023. And that was a dream come true, guys. That was a dream come true. That's something I've wanted my entire life. I don't know how to describe that feeling. I released it right before my kids got out of school for summer break. And there were a lot of ups and downs along the way. And I should probably also mention that in between, the fall, October, September part where I was like, okay, I guess I'm not releasing my album yet. I was like, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a Christmas album. And I decided to make a Christmas album, which Potbelly was not available to help me on. So I did do that one on my own. And it's not as good as my Seeking Sunshine album that had his help, but it's pretty good. So all of my Christmas album songs are out there. My Christmas album is called Wonder. And all of those songs you got to hear over the last few episodes because I attached those. And so by the time that I actually released Seeking Sunshine, I kind of had low-key released a Christmas album. Like legit on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Amazon Music. Like it's out there. It's available to be listened to. And guys, I've always dreamed of being, a real singer, of making money with my music. And this is like a reality for me now. And then also on this journey to creating my album, it's a long journey, guys. It's a big journey to write and produce an album. And again, I was producing it myself. And along that journey I did a GoFundMe to help to create my studio here in my basement that I'm looking at right now. And I have a studio in my basement because of the amazing generosity of people like you, of my friends, of my audience, of the incredible, amazing people that I know and who love me. And I'm so grateful because I had been working on my album at the studio at BYU because I graduated BYU in 2021 in April, and there was a glitch in their system, and I was supposed to not be able to log back into their system when I graduated, but there was a glitch, and I was able to log back in for a full year. And in April of I think it was April of 2022, something like that, I was no longer able to log back in, and I had to kind of go through sneaky routes and like get special permission and go. It was really difficult to be able to log back in, and it became no longer available to me to use their studio, and I didn't know what to do and how I was going to finish my album. And so I started this GoFundMe, and I was able to raise enough money to get all the things I needed for my studio and to upgrade my system from GarageBand to Logic Pro. And oh my goodness, what a difference. What a difference it is to be able to come down to my basement, to my studio, and record. It meant that I could record over the summer when my kids were home. I mean, I kind of had to wait for them to be quiet from time to time, which was a thing. But like, it's been a miracle. It's been a dream come true. So after I... We're going to pause here for just a second so I can tell you that I love podcasting so much that I'm actually starting a second show called Podcast Like a Mother, the show where I'm going to teach you how to podcast in an easy, fun, sustainable way with short 20-minute or less episodes with searchable titles that are going to teach you all the basics of podcasting. Really easy, really fun. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So go check out Podcast Like a Mother. And now back to the show.
Podcast like a mother. It's your turn. It's your turn. Stop playing small.
I released my album in May, and then I started writing custom songs for podcasters. And I've got to tell you how that started, because that's another like crazy, amazing thing. I got to join, I didn't get to join Your Turn to Podcast, but I got to join Kathy Heller's other program, which is called Abundant Ever After, in February. And that was like really amazing and life-changing, and like showing me what's possible. And I launched into this whole, I want to be a coach, and I was working really hard to launch my coaching program in February, and it was called Shine Self-Care Coaching for Burnt Out Moms. I don't know if you remember this whole phase of Karaleigh. This whole year, 2023, has been such a massive growth journey for me. It's been like pivot as I learned more about who I am and where I really belong, and it's all led me here. It's all led me to this place of, oh my gosh, this is where I was meant to be, and it was all like lined up just beautifully. So I started learning everything about being a coach. I took all of these coaching certification programs back in February, and I launched this coaching program. And what was really funny about the whole thing was that I did like 30 podcast interviews in January. That's insane, by the way. Don't do that, which is one of the things I teach now in my podcasting programs. I did way too many podcast interviews in January, burnt myself out doing it. And then I launched this Shine Self-Care Coaching program for burnt out moms. But the problem was that I was burnt out. And so it didn't really sell, because I didn't want to talk to more people. I was so burnt out from the podcasting. But because even though I was burnt out from podcasting, I had all my podcasts recorded and all these people expecting their podcast to be out. So it was really easy to just like get the show out every week, right? It's so funny how I've learned so many lessons over the course of this year that now I'm turning around and teaching people like, don't be me, don't do that. And so in February, I launched this coaching program that didn't really work out. And, you know, it turns out that self-care was not really it wasn't the thing that lit me up. And I had this whole acronym, SHINE was an acronym. And the one that I kept coming back to was do what lights you up. It was find the thing you love and use that as self-care. And that's what I ended up realizing in the fall and pivoting to, and realizing that, oh my gosh, that's where I really belong, is passion. Like, what are you passionate about? That's what you should be doing more of, because that's really what self-care pivots around, is letting yourself do what's so fun and juicy. And we've talked about that a lot on this show, so I won't dive into it, because that's one of those topics I could talk about for hours. And so that was kind of my February, was feeling disappointed that my coaching hadn't panned out, but also I was still doing so many interviews because I had, lined them all up. And then getting ready for my album to launch in May, and so many things. And then over the summer, I found Tiamo, and I found, plus I was doing AEA all spring, like February through probably May. And then I found Tiamo, and Tiamo teaches something called keynote concerts, which if you've been following me, if you've been listening to this podcast, then you've heard about keynote concerts by now. And keynote concerts was like, it immediately clicked for me. As soon as I heard this concept, I was like, yes, please. That's where I belong. I need some of that. A keynote concert is where you speak on stage, which is what I've been wanting to do my entire life. I mean, I took a public speaking class in college, and I'm like, I need to be on stages. Yes, that's where I belong. But a keynote concert is where you sing after you tell your story on stage. So you give your keynote, and then you add your music in. It's keynotes for musicians, where you combine both of those passions together. And again, this is another topic that I could sit and talk about forever because I'm super passionate about it. And again, I've already talked about this on my show because, oh my gosh, it was the kind of thing that I heard about and I just lit up. Like, you know, when you hear something for the first time and you immediately know that it is right for you, that it's everything that you never knew that you needed, that you couldn't put it into words before, but you just know with your whole body that that's exactly what you were made to do. That's what keynote concerts are for me. And that's what I've been doing with my podcast this whole time. I've been combining my love of music with my love of speaking. They belong together. They go hand in hand. I never wanted to just be a singer. I wanted to talk too. I never wanted to just talk. I wanted to sing too. And now it was like you get to do both together on stage, and it's not inappropriate to combine them. It's actually better when you combine them. So I joined Tiamo's mastermind, which was a huge leap for me. And it was a huge leap of faith. But it was so worth it. And it was so life-changing. And I spent the summer learning how to be a better speaker and how to do this thing called keynote concerts. And then I was still going with my podcast, and oh my gosh, this year's been amazing. It's been amazing. And then I started really working on my podcast, sort of hand in hand with the keynote concerts. And I started going, okay, Seeking Sunshine's amazing, but I need to really hone in on who my audience is. Because so far, I'm sitting here going, people ask me who my audience is, and I'm like, everybody who's been through something hard. And it wasn't right. It wasn't right. Because that's everybody, which means it's nobody. And people kept telling me, oh, your audience should be special needs moms. And I was like my whole body cringed as soon as I heard that. And it was a whole journey to realize that I want to talk to passionate moms. I want to talk about doing what lights you up. And it was this whole journey to get there. But I finally got there, and then I started coaching again, and I started realizing that, like, I'm really good at helping people, like, figure out what lights them up and how to do the thing that they love with their life, and how to, there's just so much that I am really good at cheering people on and helping them clarify. And actually what my real superpower is helping people break down the overwhelm. We have these big, huge, audacious goals and dreams, and then it's like, oh, there's so many parts to it. How do I do it? I don't know what to do next, and it seems too overwhelming. I quit. And my superpower is to go, no. This gets to be easy. Let me help you figure out the next step. And then you just do that one thing. And then we move on to the step after that. And so I was coaching people for free. And people would be like, oh, I'm stuck. What do? I don't know what to do. I'm trying to build this business, or I'm trying to do this thing. And they'd be like, oh. And I'd be like, I can help. And I would just offer, for people to hop on these little 15-minute calls. And I learned a lot of this from Kathy Heller, and I learned some of it from Tiamo, and it was really great. And I started offering to coach people, and it was also great because I had all these certifications. I was like a confidence coach and a self-care coach. I have all these certifications, but I hadn't used them since February. But all of a sudden it was like, wait, I'm actually helping people. I'm actually really helping people in these little teeny calls, and like they're having these major breakthroughs, and people were giving me these reviews. And I even had one person who I helped who was like, you help me so much, I insist that you let me pay you. And it was like, whoa, I'm like really good at this. And then I started to realize that a lot of what I was coaching around was podcasting. Like I was helping a lot of people with their podcasts, like over and over and over again. And I should also rewind for 1 second, because one of the things that Tiamo teaches, there's always 1,000 things going on in my life, because like we haven't even talked about like my family and my kids and like life, all crazy at the same time. But one of the things that Tiamo taught us besides keynote concerts was how to do custom songs, because when you do a keynote concert for someone, it's nice if you write them a custom song, but you can also just like, it was sort of like a second track, was like writing custom songs for people. So I started writing custom songs for people, and I kept coming back to podcasters. Like I kept writing intro songs for podcasters, and I was writing, like it started off like for free, and then I would charge a little bit, and then I would charge a little bit more, and I would charge a little bit more, and it became like a business. And I was writing custom songs for people for their podcasts and podcast theme songs. And it was like really fun to write, like to take somebody's name of their podcast and turn it into a full-fledged song. It was so much fun. And then I was coaching people, and then I was realizing that like I'm a passion coach and I'm a creativity consultant, but mostly what I'm actually doing is helping people with their podcasts. And what I'm actually doing is I'm showing them how easy it gets to be, because they're all overwhelmed. People are really overwhelmed by this idea of podcasting. And I'm sitting here like I've got 3 special needs kids. I've been doing the Seeking Sunshine podcast for 2 years now, and I've learned a lot. And what I've mostly learned is how this gets to be easy. This gets to be really fun. This gets to be really easy. And it sort of all came together. And it was like, oh my gosh, what lights me up the most? Because that's what we rebranded Seeking Sunshine in November. And it was like, do what lights you up. What are you the most passionate about? And I was like, what lights me up the most is talking about what lights you up. And then I was like, oh my gosh, what lights me up the most is podcasting. Oh my gosh, I'm singing about podcasting. Like, I'm writing songs for podcasters. I'm coaching podcasters. It keeps coming back to podcasting. When I look at my day, when I look at what I have going on every day, like, I'm coming back to podcasting. Over and over and over again. This is what I keep choosing. And so when I'm asking you, my dear listener, when you're trying to figure out what lights you up, what do you really love? What do you keep choosing? What do you keep coming back to over and over and over again? Because you love it, because it's so much fun. What do you keep coming back to? What do you find yourself gravitating toward? I keep coming back to podcasting because I love it so much. It's my favorite thing. I could talk about podcasting all day long. And so I had this spark of an idea. And it just came to me, and it was like, podcast like a mother. And I immediately shut it down, and I was like, no. And I told it to my husband, and he was like, no, that just sounds like the F word, and no, that's too close. No. And so I kind of shut it down, but it kept coming back to me. And I was like, what if I taught people that podcasting can be easy? Like, literally right now, I'm recording this on my phone show notes, or my phone voice memo notes. and I can just send it to the podcast app and hit publish. Like, that's how easy it gets to be. Like I'm coaching on this every day. Like, this gets to be easy. How can you let it be easy? And the more I thought about it, the more excited I was about it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I talked to people about it and they were like, wait, you can make podcasting easy? And it was like, whoa. And then Kathy Heller said this thing, and it was like, chase the dream that chases you back. Like, go find the dream that chases you back. And I was like, this is finally gaining traction. This is finally gaining traction. I'm actually helping people. I'm like, real, and that's all I wanted, guys. For so long, I wanted to help people, and like, I learned so many things from Kathy, and from Tiamo, and from Emma, and I'm like, all of it combines to this. It all unites here. Oh my gosh. And it's just the most amazing feeling to be like, this is where I belong? This is where I can actually help people? And it's like, I get to do this? It feels so liberating. And it feels like, wait, I really can do this? Oh my gosh. And so for Black Friday, I launched my one-on-one coaching program. Podcast Like a Mother. And there were some dips in there where I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't know. It's gonna be hard. Like, ooh. And it worked. And it's been so amazing. And now what's next is a group program. Because there's a lot of benefits to a one-on-one program. There really are. But there's also benefits to a group program and having, a group of people that you can bounce ideas off of. And so that's what's coming next, is the Podcast Like a Mother, podcasting made easy. It's podcast with confidence and ease. It's what I'm here to teach you, because this gets to be easy. It gets to be fun, and all of the growth that I've experienced over the last couple years of like learning how to share my story and how to share it with other people, and what an impact I've been able to have. It's been unbelievable. Like, I can't believe that Seeking Sunshine's now in the top 5% of all shows. That's like amazing. It's mind-blowing. And I have launched my second podcast Like a Mother. So now Seeking Sunshine now has 2 episodes that air every week. And I have a third show. So I have 3 episodes that come out every week. And no, I don't spend all my time on this. Yes, it is easy. Yes, it is fun. And yes, it lights me up so much. And it's my favorite thing to do. I love it. Can you tell in my voice? Because you should be able to tell with my voice that I love this so much. And I want to teach you how to make it the thing that you love the most about your week. And it can take very little time. Like, the truth is that Podcast Like a Mother, I spent an hour on it on a Saturday and got it set up for a month and a half. Like, this can take so little time and have a huge impact and change your whole life. It can change your entire life. So, I keep hitting this thing, sorry. You get to do it messy. It gets to be fun. You get to grow. So that has been my journey over the last couple years, taking all of me and showing up as I am and becoming the best version of me. And I'm so ready for more in 2024, which I didn't realize was going to rhyme, but here we go. So I'm going to play for you. I keep fighting at the end of this episode, but I want you to know that I have grown since writing that song, and we do get to win. No longer is it I keep fighting but I just can't win. I do get to win, and so do you. We do get to win.
Thank you for listening. I have loved podcasting for these last couple years, and I have grown so much as a storyteller. And if you go back and listen to the very first episode of Seeking Sunshine, which is called My Story, it's like the part 1 of this, you will be able to see how much better of a storyteller I am. And you'll also see how much messier I'm allowing myself to be. Because when I first was recording, I didn't have a very good microphone, but I tried to make everything really perfect. And now I just let it be. And I let it be really authentic and really me. And I hope that you're okay with that, and I think that it's really good. So anyway, here are my favorite takeaways. Number 1, the future is looking bright and amazing. I hope that you feel the anticipation of the beauty that lies ahead for you. Number 2, our authentic voice is really our best voice. Number 3, this is what I was made to be doing. I was made to be using my voice. Number 4, when you're trying to figure out what lights you up, ask, what do you really love? What do you keep choosing? What do you keep coming back to over and over again because you love it, because it's so much fun? What do you find yourself gravitating toward? Number 5, how can you let it be easy? Number 6, chase the dream that chases you back. And number 7, you get to do it messy. It gets to be fun. You get to grow. Thank you so much for being here. If you loved those quotes, please check out the Snippet of Sunshine daily quote link in the links that are in the show notes, because you can actually get those in cute little quotes sent to you every single day. I also have a little easy podcasting basics cheat sheet that you can snag in the show notes, and then you have to make sure that you check out the secret little discount code for the Magic Mind stuff, because that is super worth trying. And then last but not least, make sure you check out my website and my other podcasts like a mother, because you're gonna want to stay up to date on all of the amazing things that are happening, because like I said in the end of that episode, there's gonna be some cool stuff. I have had a crazy pants Christmas break with my kids and my family, because I think you guys know this, but like, I have a life. I have like a family and kiddos, and like, this is all about doing it messy, right? It's all about like, we have lives and we're human beings and we're people. And I had all these great plans of like having things done already that are not done yet. And that's okay, because life is lifey, and that just is how it is sometimes. So I have really exciting plans that are not quite ready to be unveiled yet, but I'm really excited. So please stay tuned. Please keep your ears open, because there's gonna be some really cool stuff coming your way. And I'm just really excited for 2024. It's gonna be really great. And yeah. Oh, one last thing. One of my goals for this new year is to support podcasters, especially new growing podcasters. And so I've said this a couple times now. I had a dream. This is really funny. I had a dream that Dumbledore came to me And there's a little backstory. We listened to Harry Potter audiobooks on the way home when we were driving home from California, and we split our drive home in 2 days. So I had 2 days of audiobooks of Harry Potter. And then we came home and we were sick, and we watched all the Harry Potter movies in like a big marathon. So then I had 2 more days of just watching Harry Potter movies, right? So this is like 4 solid days of Harry Potter. And then whenever I take Tylenol, I get super loopy. So hopefully that explains what I'm about to say. I was like in this Tylenol-induced slumber, and I had this dream where Dumbledore came to me and told me I needed to create this Facebook group to support podcasters. So whatever. Anyways, it felt really inspired, and I did. I created this group, and if you are a podcaster or interested in becoming a podcaster, you should join it. It's called the Podcasters Support Network, and it's really there for everyone, to share your episodes and to listen to other people's episodes and to leave reviews for people and to ask the questions that you have about podcasting. It's for us to lift each other up in our endeavors as new podcasters. So go check that out. It's just on Facebook. I don't even have a link for it ready, and I'm not going to do that, but it's called the Podcasters Support Network. So go check that out and join us as we lift each other and empower each other in our search to be heard and to speak and share our stories. And that is my episode for today. I hope that you guys are excited for this new year, because it's gonna be so great. And I'm gonna leave you with a song.
Said there was a fire in my eyes, and I fought to keep my deepest dreams alive, though nothing seemed to go my way, I refused to throw my voice away. I felt inside what it took to survive. Then I heard people telling me my inner voice had lied. You'll never get to be a star. Why would you think you could get that far? I keep fighting, but I just can't. The blows keep coming again and again and again. I give it my all, but when I fall, I get back up again, and I keep fighting. I waited for someone to discover all my words.